Hi, and welcome to episode 2 of the Doula Johanna podcast. Last week, I shared how I doula myself by creating time and space to fill out the wheel of life every December and use it to set goals for the new year. I mentioned that one of my biggest challenges last year was getting intimate with my money. Money is a huge topic for me, as it is for many of us, and I still have a lot to learn. For the longest time, I carried around a lot of negative beliefs about money and about rich people. Only in the past few years have I started to let go of them. I'm sure there will be several episodes about money in the future, but today I want to start by sharing the 5 lessons I learned about money in 2024. Lesson number 1: fire your financial advisor. Fire your financial advisor today. Chances are they are ripping you off without you realizing it. Even worse, as long as you rely on them, you'll never take full control of your finances and be in charge. Now, to clarify, if you are hiring a financial advisor and paying them an hourly rate or a flat fee to help with a specific issue, I'm not talking about you. But if you've bought into the idea that money is just too complicated and handed everything over to someone who gets paid via commissions or hidden fees, it's time to let them go. That was me until flipping yesterday, right? I would bounce from one financial advisor to the next, thinking, they know better than me. I don't want to make mistakes or lose money. Ironically, that's how I lost money. I wanted to do everything right. I wanted to invest in my future and save for my daughters. Following my financial advisor's advice, I put all my savings into actively managed funds and felt great about finally taking action. But I wasn't really taking action, was I? Like, I was outsourcing responsibility. In January, I read I Will Teach You to Be Rich by Ramit Sethi and followed his 6-week program. I felt a little uneasy when he criticized financial advisors and explained how much they can cost you in the long run, but I thought, surely my case is different. Spoiler alert, it wasn't. When I finally actively reviewed my portfolio, I saw that my investments hadn't grown at all. In fact, they'd lost 35% of their value in just 2 years. I was crushed. But instead of finally taking action now, I ignored the problem for 6 more months, hoping it would fix itself. Classic money block behavior. It didn't. So eventually I fired my financial advisor, educated myself, and created an ETF portfolio for my retirement. I canceled the actively managed funds and transferred the remaining money. It was an expensive lesson, but I'm grateful I finally tackled it. I still have so many moments of regret. Why didn't I do this sooner? But beating myself up about it doesn't help. From now on, I'm in charge of my financial future. Lesson 2: love your rich friends. If you don't have any rich friends, make some. I spent much of my life being skeptical of rich people, assuming they were scrupulous, shallow, or neglectful of their families. And this mindset was rooted in jealousy and made it easy to avoid stepping out of my comfort zone. Instead, I surrounded myself with people who shared my struggles and also my negative beliefs about money. A couple of years ago, I decided to view jealousy differently. Instead of avoiding it, I got curious. If I felt jealous of a friend living in a house with a backyard while I was stuck in an apartment, it didn't mean my friend was an asshole. It just meant I wanted a house with a backyard, and that's okay. I added it to my goals. I started embracing my rich friends, especially the self-made ones. I learned that you can be wealthy and still be a fantastic person, a great parent, and a supportive friend. These things aren't mutually exclusive. Why wouldn't they be? But that was my belief. Rich friends can also inspire you. Hearing their stories taught me so much about creating a vision for my own rich life. Lesson 3. Raise your prices or ask for a raise. If you were a man, you probably would have done this a long time ago. So this is especially true for women in social and health-related fields. Society assumes that because you're doing meaningful work, you shouldn't expect good pay or any pay at all even. That mindset is so fucking harmful because we internalize it. For example, I used to think, doula work is my calling, so it shouldn't be about money. What nonsense! Your work has value, and so do you. Sit down and set a price for your services that feels really good to you. Caring for others doesn't exempt you from needing to pay bills, buy groceries, or plan vacations. And if you're a stay-at-home parent, this applies to you too. Care work isn't free. It costs you time and energy and opportunities. If you're enabling your partner's career by staying home taking care of the kids, talk about the financial sacrifices you're making. Make sure you get a salary and secure your own investments for retirement. And there we jump right into lesson number 4, invest in your future. And no, a Chanel bag doesn't count, at least not in this context. Sit down and do the math. How much money will you need to live comfortably during retirement? Whether you plan to retire at 45 or at 75, figure out your target income. What would be your happy number? And then calculate the gap between your target and your pension and determine how much you need to invest monthly to fill that gap starting today. Please don't tell yourself that you don't know how to do this. I don't either. Ask ChatGPT or a similar tool. Seriously, it's never been easier to figure out. If you've delayed starting, like me, you might not be able to save as much as you'd need to get to your happy number. But start anyway. This is so me, right? Like I feel like I'm 20 years behind, but at least I'm starting now. It's not about perfection. It's about consistency. Automate your investments and increase them as your income grows. Lesson number 5. Work on your money blocks. Please, please, please work on your money blocks. Otherwise, your children might have to, right? We're all imperfect parents and we all pass down some of our struggles to our kids. But we can choose to address our own money blocks, talk openly about them, and model a healthier relationship with money for our children. I'm far from perfect, but I'm working on it. I talk to my kids about money, share my experiences, and ask about theirs. It's humbling to see how much of my limiting mindset they have already picked up on. But it's also rewarding to see them work through it. So those are my 5 lessons. Fire your financial advisor. Love your rich friends. Raise your prices. Invest in your future. And work on your money blocks. What do you think? I try to doula myself through the guilt and regret I feel about past mistakes by focusing on the present and celebrating myself for the work that I'm doing now. It's not always easy, but I'm really doing my best. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What's the most impactful money lesson that you've learned, either in 2024 or in your life overall? Share your story in the comments or connect with me on Instagram at doulajohanna. If you know someone who would benefit from hearing these lessons or could use a live doula in general, please share this episode with them. It truly means a lot to me. Like and subscribe and tune in again next Friday for setting goals for 2025. Until next time, take care and be your own life doula.